Even educated people in cities and everything are not very aware about the laws and rights.
We want to show people that young people can always create their own space.
So we try to identify issues kya hai society mein the people are generally facing.
Most of the people we don't know, we have never known them. It's now through YLF that people are getting introduced to each other.
That we have not just restricted our membership to law students actually.
You don't have to go and deal with the babus and the clerks in the departments. You can just go and file your applications on.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Candid Talks. I'm your host Fahim Shah. We all know judiciary is an important pillar of democracy, and to know more about our judicial system, today we have with us President of Young Lawyers Forum, Mr. Khurram Qureshi, and founder Ms. Mahreen Altaf. So welcome. Please tell us about Young Lawyers Forum. What's it about and what's its idea and core values?
First of all, thank you Fahim for having us in this show. It's good to meet you people, you and your team, who are also very young like us, like our name and like our organization. So Young Lawyers Forum, we have just started this organization 6 months back. We have registered it. Although the idea has been there for quite some time. We had thought about this during our college days when we were also exploring ourselves, exploring our career in law, and we were working in several organizations in Kashmir, outside Kashmir, and while we were working we realized that there's a void in terms of the work, the legal work which needs to be done in Kashmir, and probably the void which can only be filled by the younger generation, the younger lawyers and law students especially, who have the energy, the requisite knowledge and skills to make a change in the society. We thought there was a void and it needed to be filled with an organization. Also because the work we were doing, we thought that many people in Kashmir probably can do the same work. Many law students, fellow law students and young lawyers can do the same work. For example, I'll quote a specific incident. When we had filed a PIL in after August 2019, wherein we had raised the issue of abolition of the State Information Commission, which was a very important institution in J&K when it comes to the RTI law, and we had taken up this matter with the High Court. And at that point, I'll tell you, even during our career, and when I say our, there were other people also with me at that point. One of them, he passed away, a very bright lawyer, Abrar Riaz, Allah maghfirat kare unko. And we had done many things even at that point in our career, things enough to give us enough confidence to go and plead a petition in the court without any real guidance or support. I remember when we went to the court for the first time, our legs were shaking and we were very conscious and we were very nervous also. But at the end of the day, we got an order, we got a favorable order, and we could see how our ideas were translated into real life orders and real life changes which affect real people, right? So I think that was where we really decided that maybe other law students or other young lawyers can also do this, and let's bring them together. We have done our law from Central University. During my 5 years of degree, I've never really visited the Kashmir University Law Department. We've never really interacted with other law colleges and other departments, which is very bad because when you have these events, networking events, they can be in the form of competitions, etc. Now we already have a membership of 50 plus. We are about 55 as of yet, and already gotten so many applications from fellow young law students and lawyers. We have law graduates, practicing lawyers, young practicing lawyers on our team as well. See, most of the people we don't know, we have never known them. It's now through YLF that people are getting introduced to each other, and since we have working groups within our organization, so for example, we have a working group on legal awareness, on litigation, and people sign up for the relevant work they want to engage in, the work they're interested in.
So basically you are trying to make a fraternity.
Yeah, we believe that there's a lot of potential in our young population. It's just that they need the right platforms. They need the right guidance. Having a strong legal education system and giving the right kind of experiences to these people is very important. Coming back to your question, so law students especially and lawyers, especially the young generation, they definitely have the basic knowledge and the basic skills required to take public initiatives. So that's why that's the main objective, to connect people who want to work on these objectives, who want to come together. When we talk about YLF, when we talk about YLF's network, build a network of people, of like-minded people, it's actually to address the problems, the social issues in the society. But for that, it needs to, as I already said, you need to start somewhere, and you need to connect them. You need to give them the right resources, the right environment. That's actually the basic objective of YLF.
And I would just like to come in here to add to it that we have not just restricted our membership to law students actually. There is conception Young Lawyers Forum naam hai, so it's just for lawyers. We are open because when we say networking, we want to network like-minded people from all the areas of life who want to work and do things like for the society. So it's not just law students. Like as of now, we have only law students in the organization, right? But it is not that we are only restricted to law students.
Absolutely. And when we say that we want to give the people in the organization the right kind of environment, we also think about, and we are also in the process of forming advisory boards where you have journalists, social activists, lawyers, many other people who can contribute in fixing the real issues of the society. It's not only the lawyers who have to take the lead. It's all to be done in a coordination. Yeah.
So, Marinji, what are the issues the YLF generally addresses towards the betterment of society? What are the issues?
Jaise Khurram said already, we have working groups in YLF, different working groups. We have working groups on litigation, on legal awareness, on networking. Networking part Khurram has already addressed. We are working towards that. That is the basic objective. Apart from that, we work in the litigation group. Litigation group we have what we try to do is basically trying to identify the problems in the society, the socio-legal issues that are being faced in the society. Like Khurram gave an example of RTI, the State Information Commission, or for example, we filed RTIs on healthcare system, the heating system in our healthcare institutions during winters. That is an issue. We identified that. We took that up in the organization, filed RTIs, representations to that respect. So we try to identify issues kya hai society mein the people are generally facing, and then try to do our bit, coordinate amongst ourselves. How can we help as an organization? How can we help the society towards solving that particular issue? Or for example, when it comes to legal awareness, it's awareness in our society mein it's lacking. We do not know our rights, we do not know our laws. Yes, even educated people in cities and everything are not very aware about the laws and rights. So we have to address them. We try to. We have done legal awareness camps. We did legal awareness camps in Karna, for example, in healthcare system. हमने उस पे किया था to inform people about their medical rights. So to aware people, if there's this thing happening, for example, acid attack hua, what are the rights of the people? What is the law relating to it? So people need to know it. So that's how we are trying to aware people about it, and then also work towards it. जो चीजें we can take up to court, we are doing that by way of litigation. And then where there's this need to aware people about things, we are doing it by way of legal awareness. So that's primarily how we are working.
So recently you have completed a law course, BA LLB. So how different do you see the legal theory and the legal practice?
Right, Fahim, I think it's a very important question because these seem to be completely two different things. When you go to the court, whatever you've studied, you suddenly see that there's something else going on here, and the problem it creates is you have lawyers who are not very confident, who don't have the requisite training to some extent, I would say. Because see, whatever we do during our degree, we have, for example, moot court competitions, which are mock situations of cases. And if anything even goes wrong there, that's absolutely fine. But then when you go to the court and you're not well prepared, that's very bad, because you're actually dealing with real people who have real life issues. As lawyers, they see hope in you. They see hope that you'll resolve their issues, which affect them, their families. So this is a huge problem in our system, I would say. The lawyers during their degree, we have not, received enough, I would say, practical knowledge from the degree, from the departments. we always had to take our own initiatives, to go to the court, to meet, interact with lawyers and judges ourselves, or do internships on our own. So I think this is a huge void. Even yesterday there was a Supreme Court judgment in which they have actually asked the Bar Council of India to improve the Bar Council legal education rules. So this is a huge void that needs to be filled in. The right training needs to be provided to the lawyers during the degree.
What intricacies did you face?
To talk about it, just in registering YLF, there have been several challenges, mostly legal challenges. But more than that, I would like to talk about the societal issues, which is actually the stigma associated to these NGOs and organizations you start and establish. And then also, as a young person, people would question you, they would also always look at you with suspicion कि जी पता नहीं कहाँ से पैसा आ रहा है, या पता नहीं क्या objectives हैं, hidden objectives क्या हैं, as if it's some sort of a crime that we are doing, which is why we want to break the stereotype. And we want to go against the stigma. We want to show people that young people can always create their own space.
Based on your constant observations, why do you see law and its institutions standing here?
अगर हम law की as an institution बात करेंगे, it is an indispensable part of the society, right? Law can never be done away with. If there is order in society, it is because there is law. But for some time past, there have been changes. Expectations have changed to a very great extent, and not in the positive way. Initially, there was a belief in the system, that a belief in the independence of the system, which is degrading, I would say. Kam ho raha hai with time. People are, which is very unfortunate, starting to lose faith. There are a lot of reasons behind that. A lot of time that is being consumed in the courts. People are scared of coming to court. जैसे अभी खुरम ने बोला, it is the last resort people will take. A lot of time is consumed, and even then you're not sure. Like if you just see civil आपके matters होते हैं, property वगैरह type cases, they go on for years together. Like we have seen cases from 1980s and everything going on in the court till date. A lot of situational changes, institutional changes बहुत सारी आई, जैसे आपके बहुत important commissions, बहुत सारे institutions थे जो ख़त्म हो गए. The State Information Commission was shut. Women's Commission, Human Rights Commission, Vigilance Commission, all these, the Consumer Forum, importantly, Consumer Forum was shut. A lot of cases were already pending there. उसके बाद भी अभी तक we don't have them. Consumer Forum just परसों, there have been appointments, but it has not been started yet. So people were facing a lot of issues. They have been facing a lot of issues. आपकी complaints Delhi जा रही हैं, लोग suffer कर रहे हैं, लेकिन they do not have a redressal mechanism there. So that is how people have started, like एक discouragement आ गई है लोगों में, which is there, of course, it is, but it is improving. Like for example, अगर Consumer Forum आया है, it will start functioning. So obviously you cannot dispense with the importance of law, but yes, quality is, I don't know, affected.
Yes, when it comes to the institutions, I think there are both the issues are there, the issue of quality and the issue of quantity. When I say quantity, I say that we simply don't have the required number of judges. When we talk about quality is obviously having, as we were discussing earlier, having good lawyers, well-prepared lawyers, eventually good judges. So both the issues are there. Perhaps the issue of quantity is a larger issue right now, which needs to be dealt with, and it's also being dealt with in some manners. For example, now you are having these lok adalats, and people are preferring to go for arbitration and getting their issues resolved through ADR, etc. But still, I'll give you another example. As we were talking about institutions, and Mehreen mentioned the State Information Commission, which we had actually filed a PIL about. तो मैं आपको एक इंसिडेंट बताऊं, हमने कुछ केसेस किए थे RTI के, जो बेसिकली अपील्स जिनकी we were supposed to file in the erstwhile State Information Commission. And since it was abolished, we were forced to file a PIL, and eventually when the cases were transferred to the Central Information Commission, which is in Delhi, we accordingly filed our appeals in the Central Information Commission. Now, I was not sure, and nobody was actually sure what's going to happen to those cases. And I called the Central Information Commission one day. I asked them कि sir case कब लगेगा इसका? You know what they said? They said कि आप फिलहाल 1 साल तक तो please don't even think about कि आपका case लगेगा. And actually that case was taken up, that appeal was taken up quite recently after 2 years. And you know when he said कि आपका 1 साल तक केस भी नहीं उठेगा, I told him, मैंने कहा सर हमें तो तब तक याद भी नहीं रहेगा कि हम information सीख क्या कर रहे थे. So what is the purpose of having these laws when you don't have the required institutions? I mean, this is an extreme, but as I already said, already the courts that are there, there's still the problem of pendency of cases is a huge problem. Definitely there would be some issues on the lawyers side as well. जैसे आप अक्सर सुनने lawyers तो हम बहुत बदनाम हैं, probably rightly so, I don't know, but I mean maximum lawyers are doing good, they're working professionally, but there may be some lawyers also who are not bringing a good name to the institution, to other lawyers. And it's a reality. Many lawyers, after taking money from the clients, they don't really follow up on the cases. They don't get any real justice to them, and that's also why हमारा नाम भी बहुत ख़राब हो गया, institution का नाम बहुत ख़राब हो गया. I understand that's a real life problem. To ask the real issue, I would again say that the pendency of the cases is a huge challenge. आपकी जो तारीख है, आज एक तारीख लगेगी, फिर कुछ महीनों के बाद आपका केस दोबारा उठेगा. So until that point, maybe in many cases, as Mehreen also mentioned, people die while fighting for justice. Justice often loses its relevance also with time.
So in this faster world, we see technology everywhere. So courts में redressal का जो system है, isn't there any chance of improving the functioning of court with the help of technology?
See, अगर आप देखें post COVID, a lot has changed. बहुत ख़राब चीज़ें हुई हैं, कुछ अच्छी चीज़ें भी हुई हैं. टेक्नोलॉजी पे हमारी रिलायंस बहुत बढ़ गई. When everything was shut, everything was running but virtually. Courts were running, courts shifted to virtual mode, सब कुछ ऑनलाइन हो रहा था. कोर्ट्स एक्चुअली बंद नहीं हुए, चल रहे थे, virtually चल रहे. लेकिन अल्टीमेटली द केस हैज़ टू बी डिसाइडेड थ्रू अ प्रॉपर प्रोसीजर. तो दैट हैज़ टू टेक प्लेस. वो आप ऑनलाइन कर रहे हो या वो आप ऑफलाइन कर रहे हो, करना तो है. द जज हैज़ टू डू इट, द लॉयर हैज़ टू प्लीड थ्रू द प्रोसीजर, एंड द जज हैज़ टू डिसाइड थ्रू अ प्रॉपर प्रोसीजर. द मैन हैज़ टू डू इट, द पर्सन हैज़ टू डू इट. सो अल्टीमेटली इट कम्स टू दैट कि हमारे जुडिशरी में पेंडेंसी, एक तो पेंडेंसी बहुत है केसेस की, और वैकेंसी बहुत ज़्यादा है.
That's true, and definitely technology has probably helped in many ways also. I mean, for example, recording of statements, or if you see collection of evidence is being done to a great extent through technology. For example, you have call records or CCTV camera footages, things like those, to go into the specifics. Another very important thing that I would probably want to point out, especially in the Kashmir scenario, is the revenue matters, and the replacement of technology. How is it helping in the dispensation of justice? So I'll tell you, जो ट्रेडिशनली यहाँ पे सिस्टम रहा है, पटवारीज़ के पास रिकॉर्ड वगैरह. इवन आई मीन रिसेंटली विजिलेंस वालों ने रिसेंटली दे कंडक्टेड दीज रेड्स ऑन द पटवारीज़ इन जम्मू एंड सीज सम रिकॉर्ड, एंड देयर वाज, आई मीन, a lot of messed up things there. So those things, apparently the government is trying to fix that through technology, through e-governance. For example, the revenue records are being put up online, which अभी जैसे वो क्लेम करें कि श्रीनगर में 100% हो गया, which is probably a lie. It hasn't been done completely, but definitely steps are being taken. So I think bringing in technology, especially in that area, we are hopeful as lawyers also that it would maybe to some extent resolve the issues of corruption and the dispensation of justice.
It has because also improved the access of common people towards whatever is going to. Transparency increase हो गई है to a very great extent. Also to whatever is happening within the court. Now you have all your orders. आपके केस में क्या हुआ, क्या proceedings हुई, कौन से orders आए, it's all online. You can get it. So you are not accountability lawyer की भी इस हिसाब से बढ़ गई है before the client. अब you cannot just say anything to your client कि हाँ मैं अपेयर हो गया, मैंने कर लिया. So now the client knows what has happened on that date of hearing. Has any order been passed, or when was the case taken up, or when is the case listed. So you know everything. That it is all online. So accountability भी और transparency भी increase हो गई है.
Yeah, I'll also quote another example. Just day before yesterday, we got an order from the High Court in a PIL that we had filed. The PIL was basically about having an online RTI portal in J&K, which is already there in many states. and it was long pending. In 2013, the central government had actually requested the state government to put it in place, and we got a favourable order from the High Court, and the High Court has actually directed the Chief Secretary to consider the matter within 90 days, within 3 months. उन चीज़ों की relevance क्या है? When this is again the question of e-governance, enabling the citizens through technology. RTI is a very important tool. आपका जैसे मैं भी revenue matters की बात कर रहा था, maybe any department, you can seek information from any department from the comfort of your homes. You don't have to go and deal with the babus and the clerks in the departments. You can just go and file your applications online and follow up on them online. So definitely these kind of things can enable the citizens, also lessen the burden on the courts. It already has, but there are a lot of steps still to be taken in that towards that destination.
So lastly, just give us a tad peek on YLF's legacy, drawing analogy with other similar organizations, associations.
This is a good question. I think when you talk about YLF and other organizations, I would say that YLF has created a new space, probably in Kashmir. There are similar organizations working outside Kashmir, but I think what we are doing in YLF or through YLF is completely new to the Kashmiri setup. Other organizations or other institutions, if we think about, probably the name of bar associations come into our minds. But on that point, I would like to in fact clarify that bar associations they are doing a different role. We have different objectives. We as independent lawyers are always, we are rallying behind the bar. Maybe the J&K High Court Bar Association or the other district bar associations or the sub-district bar associations. Personally, I'll tell you, my father has been involved in the bar association when he used to work as a lawyer long back. Recently, when I joined, I've contributed to the formation and functioning to my little extent of the bar association here in the J&K High Court Bar Association. Bar association has a very important role to play, especially for the welfare of lawyers. It's a place, it's an institution where we all unite. But YLF is something different. We want to engage the younger people, as I said, especially the law students, to work for social causes. That may also be done by the bar associations, but I don't think this kind of space has been carved out before, where a little independent, especially young organization has come up to work for these objectives. We understand that the system it can be absolutely frustrating at times, but still, at the end of the day, we are not savages. We still have to believe in the systems. We still have to believe in the law, in the legal institutions. So let's do that. Let's have some faith. And I think having discussed all the problems that are prevalent in the society regarding the legal institutions and the legal setup, despite that, I still feel that people still carry a faith for the legal system. They do. आपका भी जब कोई मसला होता है, you come to the court with some hope, right? It's not that you don't have any hope or you're completely frustrated. So let's have some faith in the system. Let's keep the fight for justice alive. It may take some time. There may be challenges, but eventually justice has to prevail.
Thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was nice talking to Mr. Khurram and Ms. Mehreen Altaf today. We'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye.